Hi, I'm going to share a proven way to extract data in key value pairs from unstructured documents. The approach here can be implemented on premise or can be called as a service on the cloud. The emphasis is on RPA, and I'm going to use Servicetrace X1 product here to demonstrate the flow. Document processing, management, and extraction of data and text from it is a very common deliverable from RPA and digital transformation projects. However, there are two considerations from our experience. First is on the confidentiality of data, especially for users in healthcare, banking, financial, and government services. The extraction of data and the data itself cannot be viewed by a third party. In other words, it's highly desirable that the extraction takes place on premise. The second consideration is that the number of documents that exist, they change. The type of information that is to be extracted from the document undergoes a lot of changes every day. And every time there is a change, we cannot expect a bot to be reconstructed and redeployed across multiple sites. And these two considerations play quite a big role. When we have conversations with a customer, with someone who's trying to deploy such a solution, we have this flow in mind that, well, the tool has an OCR. You can put your document into this system and you will get an output. It leads to very incorrect assumptions from a customer point of view. They believe that, okay, their objective of really getting data from the OCR will be addressed. The correct flow is that, well, Mr. Customer, you have a PDF or you have a JPEG file, and what we are going to do is we are going to extract text from it. From this text, data will be extracted. And when this data is there in JSON file, in JSON format, or in an XML or a CSV, or in some variable, a lot really can be done, which is more of a correct flow. In this entire scheme of things, in this entire flow, it is a data extraction which becomes an Achilles heel for RPA. So if you drill down into this picture, there's upstream processes, and they are, let's say they are really sending the data and some of these document files to a watch folder or to an email. Now, a text extraction has its own challenges. We need to see the accuracy of the text or the quality of it. Is it really coming in the right format? Are the column and rows in the way they were expected to be? And then again, what's the cost? What's the cost? Because sometimes there could be millions of documents that really need to be passed, or an OCR need to work on it. Now, once that part is done, the data extraction is a different ballgame. Yeah. Security part aside, which is a very, very topmost concern, what's the accuracy of the way we are really extracting the data out? How much, what's the cost of doing it? What sort of resources are really needed? How much time it takes to really implement the extraction of the data from this text? And as we discussed, this part is really not the strength of an RPA. What's easy for RPA is the post process to this. Do all the validation check about the data, take decisions on that data, and really continue with the workflow into the downstream processes. We're going to show a way which we observed is being used at multiple sites across the world, and which really cuts down the time of such an implementation by, it practically decimates it. Now, in this flow, I'm going to show that a PDF and a JPEG file we are going to use. We are going to use Servicetrace RPA for X1 product, essentially because it has a phenomenal OCR engine built in, which is also sort of free of cost because the cost of an OCR and all the scans is monetized in the cost of the bot itself. And for this example, we are going to use a service called from Contactous for data extraction. There are a lot of other services like this available. You may want to choose a service which is really available in your locality or in your region. We are using Contactous because we have a license for that to really show on the demo, and the output is a JSON format. Now, here's a flow before we show the quick demo, is that any type of these documents or an image, these could be like medical reports or logistic bills or invoices or delivery orders or purchase orders, and output from a scanner. They can be really sent out, and the text is extracted from some of the program, or in this example by an RPA, which is X1 by Servicetrace. Now, this data is sent to an external program, but which is residing on premise, and which is a very important point to make over here. The data is residing on premise, and as I said, the data could be, and the service really could be on the cloud, and we will show both of them in a quick demo after this slide. So in this particular one, the data, it is residing on premise in a adjacent server, so there is no data leakage to anywhere. The data does not leave the boundaries of the organization, and this program gives the extracted data back in a key value pairs, and the control is passed back to the RPA program, and after that all things are possible. And this is where RPA is very, very strong. And so in this diagram you see all those arrows and boundaries which are marked by red are the boundaries of an RPA. It is the part of the data extraction program is a separate, as an external program, and this is just a simple call, as we will show to you. Okay. So we're going to use an invoice, which is a fictitious invoice by a company over here called Scroll Electronics. This is fictitious data, but this is in a PDF format. We are going to extract the text from here. This can be done by RPA, or it can be done by an external program. And that once the text is extracted, the biggest part is then we are going to extract the data over here. And the data gets extracted in this key value pairs over here from this invoice. And the best part is we are going to show it to you just in a couple of steps itself. Now, something like this, or maybe 10, 20 invoices, or like a 50 invoice document types like this, they all can be implemented within a month or two, as compared to it could take a very long time with some other products or some other approach, which is really what I would like to highlight over here. So let's take a quick demo of this. So this is a Servicetrace X1. There is a invoice. This is a invoice by Singapore Airlines, and we just really open it up and select the invoice and run the workflow. Well, it really runs, and it is extracting the text, sending the text to that external program which is residing on premise, and the data really comes out over here. The second one is the scroll invoice. Let me go a bit detail into this thing. This same invoice which I was showing in the last slide. We select this particular invoice. Again, there's no change in the workflow, which is a very important part. So there could be like 100 workflows over 100 different type of documents. It's the same 2 lines of code which is being used, and it really extracts the data out. And as you can see, the data really gets sent in a JSON, or it can be sent in some sort of variable. Let me just really format the data a bit so that we can see it clearly. Let me just format in JSON, put it side by side to the invoice, and you will see how the PDF file on the right resulted in the JSON data on the left. So this is a very straightforward, simple example on how such an extraction can be done. Any type of these documents really can be added, and like we can really add like a 500,000 different type of documents over here. No change on RPA, and the no data is really going out of the organization's boundary, as we demonstrated over here, because the extraction program was residing on premise. Servicetrace OCR is working on premise. There is no call which is really made to an external party. In a similar way, we can actually do the same thing by making a call to an external party or a cloud service as easily. Let me just show another example here, where in this particular one, I'm going to take a JPEG file. This is a simple receipt of a Starbucks, just for the sake of demonstration. But here we are really going to do an OCR out and extract the text and pass the data through a REST call to an external service. It's as simple as that. As you can see, 2 lines of codes, and they are just really passing the data over here. And it's as simple as that. It took us 2 minutes to really build this simple illustration. It's not even a demo, I call. Now, we run it. What it's doing is right now it's extracting the text. So this is done by Servicetrace X1. It takes the text and then it passes to an external service to extract that data, and the data really comes over here, which is as simple as this. Well, the amount was 9.1 as it really came up. Maybe that was the only information that was required, but needless to say, any type of information we can really get it from here based on how it is configured. So in summary, what I just showed to you is these 2 documents. One was a PDF, which was really the data was extracted on premise itself, and the second was a JPEG file, and we chose to really extract the data by an API call. Okay, all these things are possible. Once again, I will emphasize that this approach really can be done within those couple of steps. Those steps really can be reused. No change in those steps is there, even though we can really add hundreds of the different document types, which lead me to summarize this advantages of this approach. The first one, the biggest one of them is no data is leaving the organization's boundary. It's secure, it's on premise. And the second is the implementation is very fast. To make this demo, we took 10 minutes to really create it, and we are showing it to you. If there are another 10 different other more files to really to be done, we can just really as simple as add it and really configure the rules over there. This is the interesting part, that the cost is very fixed. You can visualize the cost very clearly based on any number of documents. So there could be 1,000,000 documents over here. The OCR and the data extraction from it, it's on a flat cost in such models. And the document changes, which really will always happen, they do not disturb the RPA setup. Once your RPA is set, it just keeps working, and you can keep on adding more documents and keep on changing the format of the documents if required, or add more variables to extract from those documents. Hope you found it useful. Contact us for any demonstration that we can do for you. Let us know. Thank you. Bye-bye.